Hey guys, it's Jacob and welcome back to my channel. So the Apple Card is a very popular credit card, but not a very good one in my opinion, and I think should be avoided by a majority of the people out there. So in this video, I'm going to go over 5 reasons why. Now, there's no question that Apple knows how to design its products to look good, and the Apple Card is no exception. It's one of the sleekest and the coolest looking metal credit cards on the market when it comes to appearance. But while this credit card might be really nice to look at and hold, I personally believe that Apple is sort of up to no good here, with a few tricks up their sleeve, including one in particular that when I learned about it, it kind of surprised me a little bit because it really shows Apple's true intentions with this credit card, but I'll get to that a little bit later in this video. So the first reason why I don't like the Apple Card is the fact that to get the most out of it, you should actually never really be taking it out of your wallet, which is ironic because of the nice titanium finish, which is one of the main selling points of the card, and most card holders would be dying to show it off. That's because while the Apple Card can technically earn 2% back on everything, you can only earn 2% back if you use it through Apple Pay on your iPhone. Otherwise, if you use the actual physical credit card, you'll only be earning 1% cash back on everything, which is just standard when it comes to any other credit card out there. So the second that you take this credit card out of your wallet, you lose, because you could be earning some extra cash back by using this card through Apple Pay on your iPhone, or simply just using another credit card that earns more in different categories. And I'm warning you right now, if you try to take this card out at a restaurant to impress people, those people are probably just going to laugh at you and tell you to put that card right back into your wallet as they pull out a better credit card like the MX Gold and hand it to the waiter to earn 4x back on that meal. But in all seriousness, if you are actually thinking about getting the Apple Card just because of the looks, just know that it is true, looks can be deceiving, and Apple does know this, which is why they made the card look the way it does and feel so premium, while offering very little cash back in return. The second reason why I don't like the Apple Card and why you should avoid it is a really important one, and that's the fact that there's actually no welcome bonus. Now, a welcome bonus definitely shouldn't be a deal breaker when considering a new card, but it should definitely be a factor. So, for example, let's take a card like the Capital One Quicksilver, which earns 1.5% back on everything, and compare it to the Apple Card. And let's pretend that you are able to use the Apple Card to its fullest potential using Apple Pay, so you're earning 2% back. Now, if you were deciding on what card to use as your catch-all card for any purchase that doesn't fall under a traditional spending category, you may be tempted to go with the Apple Card because it earns 0.5% more on all purchases compared to the Quicksilver as long as you use Apple Pay. But when you factor in the fact that you get a $200 welcome bonus with the Quicksilver and then do a little bit of math, you would have to spend $40,000 on the Apple Card to earn an extra $200 cash back to make up for that 0.5 difference in the cashback rates between these two cards. So that's basically a simplified break-even point for when you would benefit from getting the Apple Card over the Capital One Quicksilver. Spending $40,000 on a credit card is a lot and would likely take years to do, which is why I see the lack of a welcome bonus as a major disadvantage for the Apple Card. Not to mention, there's actually another card on the market for the best flat rate cashback, the Wells Fargo Active Cash, which gets the best of both worlds, since it gets 2% back on everything just like the Apple Card when you use it through Apple Pay, and it also has a $200 welcome bonus just like the Quicksilver. I think this is a really smart way to think about welcome bonuses and the opportunity cost when you consider getting one card compared to another. If you have any interesting views or comments about any of the credit cards I talk about in my videos, please let me know down in the comment section below, because this is a community where we should try to learn from each other, and I would love to feature one of your comments in my future videos. Now, on to the third reason why I don't think the Apple Card is very good. But before I get to that, if you're enjoying this video so far, please go ahead and like this video down below and subscribe to my channel for any future videos about credit cards, personal finance, and tips to maximize your rewards. So the third reason, which I don't really think is talked about too much, is the fact that this card further locks you into the Apple ecosystem. Don't get me wrong, I love Apple, and I think I'm already trapped in their ecosystem, but they're really, really good at designing products that work very well together. I mean, look, I have my MacBook right here. I have my iPhone that I'm using to film with. I have my Apple Watch right here on my wrist. And I also have my AirPods somewhere else around this room. So what Apple wants to do with this credit card is earn its way into your pocket. So you have your iPhone in one, and then your Apple Card in your wallet in the other. They do this by doing what they always do, which is making products that are super easy to use. The Apple Card uses an app, which I'll talk about in my next reason for disliking the Apple Card. But this app is actually really easy to use, and it tracks things such as your spending categories, the cash back that you earn, and other things like that. So I think that Apple's thought process here is if they can make it very simple for you to track your spending through the streamlined iPhone app, then you're more likely to put more of, or if not all of your spending on the Apple Card. And since you can only have the Apple Card if you already have an iPhone, Apple is just hoping that that's just another reason why you won't go ahead and switch over to a Samsung phone or a Google phone. Now, reason number 4 why I don't like the Apple Card, like I just mentioned, is the app. That's because while this app may be very useful for tracking your spending, the different categories you spend in, and the cash back that you earn on your Apple Card, it's very limiting for any other card out there. This is a huge problem, at least for me and others like me who want to maximize their cash back and rewards across several credit cards. So while this app looks very easy to use, I just don't see it as being very practical, especially when there are other apps out there like Max Rewards, which can track your spending and your rewards across all of your different credit cards and your accounts. Again, this goes back to Apple trying to tempt its customers to commit to only using Apple products. So while I think the app looks nice, I view this as a negative because the app is just limiting. But who knows, maybe in the future Apple will change this and try to develop an app that can track all cards. But I doubt it because Apple has a history of trapping you in its ecosystem. And my 5th and final reason for not liking the Apple Card, which I hinted at in the beginning of this video because it's a pretty big reason, and that's the fact that Apple has been approving customers for the Apple Card with credit scores in the low 600s, which can also be classified as subprime lending. Now, every person is different, but for somebody with a credit score on the lower side, they might not be as responsible with credit cards, even if they're trying to work on improving their credit score over time. People with lower credit scores may even be more likely to be living paycheck to paycheck, which could force them to feel the need to be carrying a credit card balance just to make ends meet. And since Apple is advertising the ability for you to track your spending and the amount of interest you'll owe if you do carry a credit card balance, I think that's just almost normalizing credit card debt, which is already a huge problem within itself that millions of Americans already face. I believe that credit card debt should be avoided at all costs because of the insane amount of interest it can accumulate. The interest rates on the Apple Card range from 18.49% to 28.74% according to Apple. But even if you are able to qualify for a rate that's on the lower end of this range, you should still avoid carrying a balance on your card because this is going to end up costing you way more on your normal spending compared to just paying it off in full. That's why I always recommend you think of your credit card like a debit card and only use it when you have money set aside in a separate account so you can go ahead and pay off your credit card in full immediately. So while Apple is putting on this image that they're making people more aware of their overall financial health, what they're really doing is enabling subprime credit users to accumulate more interest because they think it's okay because Apple supposedly has their back. And trust me, I know Apple is not alone in being the only company to profit off of its customers accumulating interest charges because every other company out there does the same thing. But for me, knowing that Apple is trying to get this card into the hands of people who are subprime borrowers, whereas other companies out there like Chase and American Express require credit scores of 700 plus to qualify for their high-end cards, it just feels like Apple is kind of actively targeting customers who are more likely to be carrying a credit card balance. And this just doesn't sit right with me. And whether it's intentional or not, it just feels like Apple's kind of being a little hypocritical here by saying that they have your financial health in mind, but then going after customers who are more likely to accumulate higher interest rates when they probably shouldn't be doing that. But for people with lower credit scores, they might not understand why carrying a balance is so bad, because this stuff just simply isn't taught in schools when we grow up. And that's a whole separate conversation for a whole nother video. Now, instead of the Apple Card, I'd recommend that you go ahead and look at several other no annual fee cards out there, which I will be covering in future videos as well. But let me know what you think about the Apple Card. Am I just being paranoid about Apple and their credit card? Maybe, I don't know. But I'd love to hear what you think. and if you agree with me or maybe you disagree with me and actually really like the Apple Card, because there are definitely some benefits out there for some people. Well, anyway, I just wanted to keep this video quick and to the point. So if you've watched this up until now, then thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.